Hello, friends. Welcome. I am Ananda Rose. How are you? How's everything going in your world? Well, I thought I'd come and say something. I know it's not usual for me to be posting something on a Sunday unless we're doing a live event, but nothing's usual anymore. And so I guess every kind of routine I've ever tried to implement seems to go out the door. So I thought, well, I'm just feeling guided to do this. And so I am going to come on and do a recording. So, how has the holiday season been for you? I hope you've survived it, those of you that were dreading it. And for those of you that were loving it, I hope you had a great time. And even those that were dreading it. I mean, well, if you were dreading it, so you were dreading it. But I hope it's fared better for you. So, friends, today I feel like I need to talk about this stuff that I've just been experiencing in the last few days. Well, I had to go and get my water, so I had to pause the recording. Apologies, friends, if you notice the difference with the crossover between the pause and the restart. Anyway, I was saying that I was going to talk about the last few days and in my world. And I thought about it this morning. I had this idea this morning. It fell into my space, into my mind space. And I really wondered about whether we actually whether I progress with a conversation. But let's see how we go. What have I been doing? A lot of self-reflection, a lot of wow, going deep, going in inside and seeing what it is. How do I navigate my life? How do I navigate moving forward? I think 3 weeks ago, I wouldn't say 2 weeks ago, I'd say 3 weeks ago, I had this idea of what I should do. I could see the picture. I could see how hopeful and how that's the way to progress with what I do in terms of my work and how I support the collective. And then I had other stuff going on and I got caught up with it. Like, okay, just going through this time of transition of work is less and how to pay the bills. And I got really caught up in that and I really felt low vibe. I looked outwardly well. I live outwardly well. If you look at my home, uh, it's not a home of a person who's saying, oh, I'm worried about paying my bills. Okay. But there was that happening where you look at me and you can see all the amazing abundance I have. And then in my mind, I was seeing that, but I was also experiencing the emotions of how the heck am I going to pay the bills? How the heck am I going to do this or whatever? And so what happened was because these are things that are staring me at the in the face, um, when a bill becomes due and you don't pay it, you will get your notification, won't you? So because I was caught up in that, I started to feel really low, really low. I also was guided to go through my diary, my not diary, my journals. I have quite a few journals that I've been writing, and I think last year I have three journals that I have from last year, and this year I have two. And for whatever reason, my guides were asking me to read my journals of 2023, and so I was reading through the journals. And I started to notice some things I missed, I forgot about that I was guided to do, and I should have done it. And then I got caught up with life happening. And I remember in particular, there was something that I was guided to do in July of 2023 and started writing the stuff up and everything in August. And then we had news of a family member who was terminally ill and was likely to pass away very soon. And we suddenly had to go to South Africa. And suddenly I had a work contract at the same time. And so, I just sort of did not go back and read my diary. I'm going to follow through with the project that I was given at some point. I've started it, but hopefully I follow through with it because one of the things with me is that I get involved with so many things. I say yes to so many things that I actually start to forget about the things that are mine that need my attention. I know that many of you are out there like that, but we are being called to do that to support the collective, but we also supposed to take care of our business. And for me, I feel like that's one of my themes that I have to take care of my business. So I was reading the diary, and there was some regular themes in my diaries. I keep calling it a diary. I was reading my journals, and I kept finding these regular themes. One of it was always about finding the answer to employment and bringing in an income that sustains me comfortably, right? The other one was about a twin flame situation I have, and I've been going through that for like 2 years now, and I kept writing these things, and I kept going through the processes, and I kept going through the same old questions, and I kept doing things that I was guided to do, like a ceremony, all of those things. I kept doing it, and at the end of reading the journals, I was really irritated with myself. I was really like, oh my gosh, especially about the twin flame. What the heck, Rose? Why were you going on about that? Why'd you give this person so much mind space, so much writing space, so much energy? And the answer is that it was necessary. It was what was happening in that time. But how do we navigate forward from that? How do we navigate? So much work has been put into it. When it comes to the financial situation, financial abundance, I have been working on financial abundance again in the last 2.5 months. In my deep, deep moments, I have had to go inward and I've had to work on that stuff. And to be honest, some of it has got worse. It's not got better. And I'm like, what's that all about? So that has been what I've been busy with. Now, I was going to do something else here, but I'm going to do it in another video. It's going to be following, but I think this is the theme for this video. This thing of reading the journals, self-reflection, what was the holiday season like and my responses to it. And why am I talking about this today? Because I'm not the only one in that situation. I believe there are many people in that situation. I also believe that at the end of this, I will be doing a light language transmission, and that is to help us shift and move things. So I did, for a while, I was doing the manifestation meditations of someone in particular. I think I might have shared it. This was RJ Spina, his healing meditations that he put out, and it was really shifting and moving me. But this last week gone by, I decided that I was going to do it again. I was going to do it for 7 days for whatever reason, just to shift my reality. Yeah, that's the reason, shifting the reality. And then I found that I started this on Thursday, and by Friday, some stuff had been going on in my world that made me feel worse. It looked worse. It looked like I'll put it in these words. And I was just listening to Pam Gregory's astrology just now, which tells me that the way I thought of it was actually how it's happening. I feel like I'm living two timelines. I'm consciously living two timelines, and I'm conscious of slipping in and out of it, right? I'm going to get a tissue because it might be that I sneeze suddenly. So I'm feeling like I'm living two timelines. The one that shows me all my abundance, the one that I outwardly look like, I deliver, the one that I show you here. But I also have that one that's my worry timeline, that's low vibration. And that worry timeline needs to catch up with the high vibration, because what I've been doing is I've been feeling in the mode of receptivity. I've been feeling in the mode of appreciation in terms of my manifestation meditations. I've been feeling the shifting and the moving, but it is not manifesting. And so, yes, the last 2 days have been particularly low for me because some stuff happened that made me realize that I could be losing my home. I could be losing the high vibrational things I have in my home, in the sense of my stability, my security, the way I live, that I can have this office space, that I can work and do my high vibrational work like I work here and I do the stuff. But that seems to be threatened. That timeline is being threatened by the other low vibrational timeline, where I'm worrying, where I'm scared, where I'm feeling I don't know what the heck's going to happen, where I'm feeling like a delinquent, where I'm feeling like I've failed, where I'm feeling like I'm rejected. And I'm coming to that rejection part very shortly. And so, what is the message of that? Be conscious that this is what's happening in our world at the moment. I kept thinking this for the last 2 days. I feel like I've got two different lives and I'm conscious of them. And I've just been listening to Pam Gregory's astrology report for 2025, and she starts talking about that. And and you know what? I'll share that link in the description box. But as I was listening to it, and I haven't completely listened to it, but as I was listening to it, I felt I needed to share it for the simple fact that it really gives us an idea of what 2025 is going to look like, how it's going to be, stuff that might happen with weather, stuff that might not. And remember to look at it and listen to it from that high vibrational perspective. I'd rather listen to the astrology than listen to any news report because I listen to astrology and I don't listen to news reports, right? Because I really want to know everything from somebody who is operating from a high vibration. Now, I listen to many people and I listen to a few people. I've listened to many people through the years, and now I've come to the people that I listen to. So I listen to the astrology of Pam Gregory, but I also listen to the astrology of Heather Hensworth, right? So that, and then there's so many others. But I want to come back to this. I want to come back to this that I was telling you about. So I've been feeling like that's my two timelines, and I've been in a situation of what do I do? I wonder if there's others out there, and I'm sure there's other people out there that are feeling like this. And I feel like I lost everything in the last few days, where I wasn't thinking about my work, for what I'm here to do for the collective, for my radar, for who I am. In fact, last night I came across a video, but let me say it this way. I came back yesterday from walking the dog and doing my stuff that I needed to, and I went to lie down because I really needed to fall asleep, and I just needed to sleep. I was yawning all the time that I was out. I had a sleep. I woke up, and as I was waking up again, my reality was, oh, this is not happening. This is what you need, Rose. You need this amount of money to survive. Blah blah blah. And then I said to the archangels, in particular Archangel Michael and Archangel Metatron, I said, come on, archangels that always help me. Michael that has never, ever left me. Michael that I can always, always count on. Always count on Michael. Always. It's never obvious. It is so easy and quiet. The strength of Michael. Archangel Michael has never failed me. And I said, we need something. I need something. We need to have a chat. And so I got out of bed, I got myself sorted out, and I said, all right, time for dinner, and I'll make my dinner. And as I was making my dinner, I was listening to a lady called I think it's Melissa Kitto, and I'll share her link in the description box. She is a New Zealander because I started to listen to her because there was something she put up, a title grabbed my attention on YouTube. I thought, oh, let me listen to her. Something about manifestations. And I was, oh, when your manifestations are not showing up. That was what it was. And so I started to listen to it. And I could hear this accent. And I thought, oh, that sounds like a New Zealander. And so I checked her out, and she's actually saying that she's in the United States, but she tells the story of a manifestation. And she's a New Zealander, New Zealand born, New Zealand educated, and everything. And then she moved to England after she finished her degree, and now she's, of course, in America. And she started to talk about how do you talk to your angels. That was the next video that came up, and I started to listen to it. And as I was listening to it, something started to occur to me that yes, I was to talk to my angels and my guides, yes, but also that some of the stuff she was asking me to do, or so suggesting in the video to do, I didn't have to do that because I have gone past that and I have learned that and I've been doing it for so many years. I knew to do that when I was doing that, reading the book by Doreen Virtue, Angels 101, right? So, and as I was listening to her, my guides were talking to me. I could hear them and they were like, we need to talk. You know, we need to talk. Of course, we need to talk. Did we have to put you in this situation of recognizing this low vibrational stuff for you to realize we need to talk? And so I thought, oh wow, okay. What I was reminded of, and this happened to me in the last few days, that I had these flashing lights on my smoke alarm in the house. And a couple of months ago, it worked out that we worked it out that it's actually the guides that are wanting to have a really deep chat. And so I did take the time and have the chat. And these guides in particular are galactic, and they are wanting to have a conversation because they are the ones, they are the messengers, they are the ones to provide the alignment and an assignment for the way forward out of that low vibrational timeline and to raise that low vibrational timeline to the high vibrational timeline. They told me that 2 months ago. I got busy. I forgot about it. Now, this week, they said, did we have to do that to get your attention? Because we need you to listen. We need you to come in and invite us, and we need to have a daily conversation. I do meditations every day, okay? But they want a daily conversation. Whatever it is I'm feeling, whatever it is I'm thinking, I need to talk to them about it. These are guides that are Arcturian, yes. They are, the Phoenix are there, but these Arcturian guides want conversation. I share this with you because I am positive that I am not the only person on the planet going through this kind of shift. I believe that whoever finds this, whenever you find this, you will get the download that you need through the light language, through the light codes that come through from the light language to shift it, to match up the timeline to the current one of high vibration, to, if anything, pull you out of that low vibrational timeline into the high vibrational timeline. That's what I need. And I was really asked to talk about this. One of the things that I was asked to talk about was relationships. Now, this year, some interesting things happened with relationships. And one of the things that happened for me, or some of the things that happened for me, was some relationships came to an abrupt end. Relationships that I thought were high vibrational, they are high vibrational, they were high vibrational. All the people involved are high vibrational, but certain things happened that brought it to a cutoff point. I soul searched that. That happened to me in the beginning of November, end of October, beginning of November. I did a lot of soul searching with that. And yes, I acknowledge for me, I said some things. Everything I said in the conversations I had was meant to be said. The only fault I had in it for me was my tone. I have a very cold tone, professionally cold tone when I'm being serious about the things I am saying to somebody that need to be paid attention. And if somebody annoys me in the process, it's even worse. And so that's what happened. And so when I tuned in with my guidance about that, the guidance was it ended so abruptly because it was meant to be ending so abruptly because that was a timeline I couldn't carry on. That was a timeline others couldn't be on. But it was all a learning process. And why am I getting to this? I'm coming to that rejection note I made earlier. When that happened, people just pulled away. People pulled away and they pulled away. People that I did not have words with pulled away. They pulled away and they did it under grace according to them because the way the wording came to no longer be a part of my community was just talking about how they're so committed to other things and so on and so on. And whilst that is all okay and it's all true, I almost feel like I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it in a way that I almost feel like I shouldn't be talking about this, but I'm going to because I feel like there's a message in this. What I would have preferred was perhaps that it no, I'm not even going to say what I would have preferred. What happened in it was basically the reasons given were certainly questionable, is all I'm saying. It was given, was meant to be high vibrational. And so for me, I questioned the state of individuals in the situation that I was in and relationships were ending. But I'm not really concerned with that. I know that that's not the most important thing. The most important thing for me is that I had to be on the right timeline and that my guides took me out the way they did. And when I said, did it have to be so harsh? And it was yes. Because even if it was any other way, you would have stayed on a timeline being somebody else's, being on somebody else's timeline, not your own. And you have to be on your timeline. You have to be doing what your guidance is, not the guidance of somebody else, but your own guidance. That was my point about this. So sorry if I digress and talked about individual things, and please don't even think about those individual things. I had a lot of learnings from it, and yes, some of the individual thing that I just slightly mentioned now, there was a learning of that. I feel like when people do things that is not when people do things in the name of high vibration and intuition, that it should be really, truly that, not somebody else's, but their own, right? And I say that to myself because I've done it. I say that to anyone else. And I say that to all of you because think about it. Whatever you do, whatever action steps you take, whatever's happening, always go back to what is my guidance telling me about the situation. And if you need to take time with it, take time with it. Because if you do that, in a haste, you could easily make the wrong choice. Okay. Or you'd easily have to retread your pathway to wherever it is that you're meant to be in that time. I'll come back to that was that was high vibrational relationships this year. Let's talk about the low vibrational relationships. For years, I've had times, and why I bring this in because we've just had Christmas. We've just had Boxing Day. We were just about to go into the celebrations of the New Year's Eve and the New Year. Whilst this is not going to be my New Year really is in January. I generally do stuff for New Year because that's more the collective, right? People normally go according to that collective New Year date. So over the years, and now I come to talk about my biological family, and I talk, and I said low vibrational because yes, it has been, because there's been a lot of doubt, there's been a lot of ridicule, there's been a lot of judgment, there's been a lot of anger, all of those things, family, right? So over the years, when I've had times where I do not speak to family for for having falling outs and we don't talk for, I don't know, 3 years or 2 months or whatever, I've been able to just move on. I've just been able to say, yeah, that's it. This is my opinion, this is me. And, you know, if I'm not accepted for me and what I'm saying, then I can't I cannot be anything else but myself, right? And that's usually what it is because I generally, and it's coming back to my tone again, I'm generally someone who will say it like I see it. I'm generally somebody who will pick up things that may not easily be picked up by others. And I tend to do it ahead of the time, by the way. And you can imagine doing something ahead of the time and people are not ready to hear it. And then you find 2 months later, hey, actually, Rose was right. Yeah. Are you one of those people? Because I'm one of those people. But the other thing is, my delivery of it is another story because once again, when I'm going to tell you something that's pretty serious, I'll start speaking in a tone that even I don't like. I don't even realize that it just kicks in and it's serious and it's a matter of fact and comes out as cold and people get offended by it. So that is what I take away in this year. I offended people. For example, I offended my mother in August by asking her a question about something I was confused about. And she hasn't spoken to me since. And we've had times like that where she doesn't speak to me, or like it's my birthday and I don't hear from my mom, or it's her birthday and I haven't contacted her. It's this terrible thing. It's a terrible thing to be saying here. How do we encourage high vibration? But what it comes back to is this. So this time, my mother decided she wasn't going to talk to me because how could I ask her a question about something silly? Well, I think it's silly. I think that something I asked her was a silly thing to get angry about, but I just didn't understand something and I asked the question. And so I have not spoken to my mom. And it's my point that I make about this is that it's happened so many times. And every time I go back to wanting to talk and making nice and saying, well, you know what, it's okay. I'm not an accepted child. I'm not I'm not the epitome of what a perfect daughter should be to my parents. I've never been. All right. Yeah, right. I've never been. I do me. I do my life. And if my truth is not accepted, if the me that I am is cannot be accepted, I'm all right with that. And I usually like, oh, that's it. I shut the door on it. That's it. I'm not even going to be accepted by that. I'm not even going to be upset about it. This time, it was interesting because this time I felt lost. No, no, not lost. I felt alone this time. This time I felt the feelings of not having family around. And so what is my point about this, friends? Firstly, my point is that I should have a better tone when I'm telling people my truth. That's my lesson. The other thing is to always remember not to not tell your truth. Tell your truth because that's important. But again, have a way to tell your truth, you know. But normally, when I'm feeling strongly and pissed off about something, I lose all that. And the two incidents that I mentioned here, without giving you details, involved me getting really worked up because I was confused about some things and I couldn't understand it. And I was asking for clarity and I got really mad. And I thought, well, I'm going to ask these questions and it's just going to come out like this. And you know what? Mars is in my avatar. And Mars has been in shadow and now in retrograde, but the effects of Mars's retrograde were happening way before Mars went to be retrograde. Because you kept hearing Aries people, be careful what you say, how you say it. So here we are, friends, coming back to this thing of family at this time of year. What is it that we do with family? Family that, like, firstly, won't accept us for who we are. And when we ask the questions, they are questions that are logical, they are honest, they're real. They, it's not acceptable, it's not okay. More so, what happened was I suddenly had family members that I had no falling outs with, not talking to me. And I had to think, well, what happened here? What happened? What's going on? Right. Let's come back to the high vibrational stuff now. So, why am I talking about this? Not because I want to tell you about all my family problems and my friend problems and my relationship problems. What I want to say is, for whatever reason, for me this year, having the lack of family contact, I had to deal with it. Usually I like brush it under the carpet and I say, that's it. They can just do whatever. I'm taking my stand and that's it. And this year I took my stand and my stand is to stay out because that's okay. If I said something and it upset somebody, it was not personal. It was confusion and asking a question. Likewise, even in the high vibrational relationships, if I asked a question, what nerve did it hit? Are we going to stop being ourselves to keep friends close? Are we going to play nicely because we want those friendships, even if they're high vibrational? It could have been done in a different way because maybe it comes off as unloving. But that was just reacting to other things coming from other people. That was a reaction coming from to what the person had asked or said or done. That was not um, it was not a moment of I want to be mean because that's not my first choice ever with anybody is to be mean. That's like the last thing I would be thinking about. And I don't think I was mean. I think I was saying, hey, wait a minute, what's happening? And so I come back to this thing of why do I feel it acutely? Why do I feel lonely acutely at this time? Why do I feel the aloneness acutely? I think it's because we're doing all the shadow work. We're doing shadow. We're doing a lot of shadow work. We're being asked to put on our big girl pants on or big boy pants on and say, I'm going to navigate. I have navigated my life on my own before. I have navigated without any support from anyone. And so I questioned myself. What is it? Why did you feel like this year, Rose? And the truth of the matter is, I don't understand it and I don't know it. I'm that's it. That's what I need to say about this. So for all of us, black sheep of the family, I feel like whatever we've been going through in our world, whatever the struggles have been, whether they have been to manifest abundance, manifest not just abundance, but just manifest your basic needs, manifesting relationships, standing up for who you are, and that costing you your security in a job, it's costing you your security in terms of where you live, has cost us a lot. It's been a big price to pay. Being authentically ourselves has been a big price to pay. And so today, I had another conversation with my guides. And I really this time had the conversation with the archangels, Archangel Michael in particular, because he is my Archangel Michael is so part of my energy, is my man, my person, my angel, my archangel. Every time I call upon Archangel Michael to look after my family, to look after my daughter, to look after my pets, to look after people that I know, my friends, every time I've asked, send your legions of angels to protect my home, my windows, my doors. Archangel Michael has never failed. And so I come to this. This was not the best message I wanted to bring forward today, but it was a message of reality, of what is reality right now. And I've had moments where in the last few days I've cried. What about my low vibrational timeline? Nothing to do with the relationships. The relationships have had me questioning them. I no longer question the high vibrational situation that I mentioned because that's done. I am satisfied with the answers my guides have given me that had to happen, and it had to happen in that drastic way. When it comes to the family relationships, I question that, and they say to me, that is how it is to be. You cannot be you if your family is different from the way they are. And it's not easy, friends. It's not easy when you have to accept that rejection from your biological family, non-acceptance of who you are is the reason for being where we are, or for being alone, for being on your own, for not feeling the support, not feeling the love, and taking the journey on your own. My my time on the planet, this lifetime, has been like that because it had to be like that. And so here we are. So I then say to the guides, I'm okay. Yes, I don't understand, especially the family part. I don't understand that, but I'm okay. I need to accept and I need to move on. And my life, my journey to this relationship thing with family has been constantly about accepting things the way they are, accepting that you don't understand, but they too are awakening souls like I am. And they're awakening to what they have to do. They have to be who they are for me to be who I am. And I have to be who I am for them to be who they are. But when it comes to myself and manifesting abundance for myself, and I know I can do it because I've done it so many times before. And when I'm feeling it, smelling it, almost touching it, but can't manifest it, or it's not coming to the forefront, I get very frustrated with myself mostly. I get very irritated with the guides. And so There it is. There we are. That's what my message was today. This is the story I wanted to say. I want to say also, I'll make this disclaimer. I speak to you of this because the guides have asked me to speak of this, not because I want to share my, you know how they say air your dirty laundry in public, not because I want to tell you about that, because I have been trying to contain this and not ever bring this to the forefront, but because they say to me, this is something I needed to speak to about for the collective. I needed to speak about because this is a thing for us light workers right now. There's a thing for many of us light workers. We are not talking about this, but this is there. Family relationships, high vibrational relationships that are going haywire, things that you think it's secure. You know, I remember saying to a friend of mine, I said to Maria Teresa, and Maria Teresa and I are still friends, by the way, just to say, but I said to her, I use as an example, so that's why I'm saying we are still friends. I said to her, for the first time in my whole life, I feel like I'm not alone because I have her in my life, because I have all these other people in my life. And some of those high vibrational people have gone. And just when I said that, it all stopped. So, what is the message? Rose, you have yourself, and that's all you need. That's who you need. For someone like me who loves people, who loves love, loves relationship, that's a hard one. Yeah. So, friends, today, the only thing I struggle with is the frustration of manifestation, manifestations not showing up. And so let's do a light language message for all of us, not just me, you, anyone who needs to hear this whenever you catch this. One more thing I'll say before we do the light language. In the last few days, I've been questioning my work because remember, I said 3 weeks ago I knew exactly what I was going to be doing. I was planning ahead. And in this last 3 weeks, with being so troubled and mind space being so busy with how am I going to make it financially? How am I going to do this? How am I going to manage that? Blah, 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 blah. I kind of stopped thinking about it. And I feel like, wow, what is it? That is an illusion. That is something that's distracting and taking all of us out of our spaces of high vibration. And so this light language is to bring us back to stasis, is to start hearing the true authentic voice of our guides. That's the light code we're going to bring in. Okay, I started out saying something else, I know, because I was going to do something about the unicorns. And I'm going to do something about the unicorns in the next video. But I feel like today, this is the video that I need to put out. This is about us calling in all the archangels, calling in all the support, helping us, those of us that are not seeing our manifestations in reality, to start seeing our manifestations in reality, to start bringing it all out to the forefront, to know that when we speak to our guides, that they are there to help us. The other thing I want to say as well is, for you guys that have been watching the channel for a long time, I talked about the guides and not being able to hear the guides. I talked about being disconnected from my higher self over the last 2 years. I talked about how I was going through a dark night of the soul. I got to tell you, my dark night of the soul has ended, right? Some of you are going through that. Your dark night of the soul, as you knew it for the last, 5 to 7 years or whatever, has ended. However, there are things lingering, and it's the fine line between what is real and what is illusion in the things that are lingering. And so I ask myself, hey, are these things lingering because they're lingering? Or is it that I've got such a strong programming about that lack mentality, about the lack of financial abundance, the lack of other things, that I keep thinking that's the reality, that's the timeline that I'm keeping alive and going because I'm still so caught up and so in the illusion of that. Whatever it is, friends, I'm convinced today that my guides have given me information in terms of those videos I mentioned because I was asking for it. I was asking for the guidance. I was asking for the help. They have given me the information that I needed to know to realize that yes, that is a false timeline. That is a low vibrational timeline. It's an illusion. And today, the light language we bring through is going to clear the illusion. It's going to deprogram us. It's going to remove it completely so that we stop living that low vibrational timeline when we are already in the high vibrational timeline. So, as we go into this, I'm going to have a sip of water. Please feel free to do that if that's available to you. Let's clear us. Now please remember to breathe. Your feet firmly planted on the ground. Take a deep breath, and when you breathe, breathe in through your nose. Pause. Keep that breath in the body and pause, and then when you're ready, gently bring it up and breathe it all out through the mouth. I'm going to take 3 like that. Let's do it. Yes. Now get ready, friends. Kuramachaya hoa. Yermachaya hoa. Kuramachaya hoa. Oroma hoa 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 hoa. Kuramachaya heya om. Hormachaya heya om. Irmachana toam. Hera o. Hormachaya heya om. Hormachaya woa. Elikjena hoam. Oromam. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Kurmachaya heya. Kurmachaya heya om. Kiramakana tena. Kurmachaya waina wana. Kurmachaya hena o. Kurmachaya hena o. Hormachaya hena wam. Hiramakumai nakuracha toracham. Erowayam. Let's breathe now, friends. One more time. Take a deep breath. And as you breathe it out, I want you to think about Archangel Michael. I invite you to think about Archangel Michael. Stop using the word want and say, I invite you, I encourage you. I invite you to think of Archangel Michael. Michael standing there with the lightning blue cloak, Michael with a sword in his hand. Michael, 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 Archangel Michael. In this time, we welcome you, and I would like you, friends, as you are, where you are, to invoke the help of Archangel Michael. Open your heart, open your mind, open your thoughts. Urli haitiaha, urli haitiaka, urachayena tu alacha, ermacha. O iranata, arketa maranachawa. Iramakaro, timakuramachaya, tumaramachai, no tufaranachai. And right now, that is the call out to Archangel Michael. Imagine yourself on a field. This is a battlefield of the esoteric. And all the legions of angels that traverse the universes with Archangel Michael are present. They've all gathered and you are there. And if you think I am there, then bring me into it, because let's do it together, friends, as a collective. Waking up, breaking down, removing the blockages, removing those things that keep us from our abundance. Because we are authentically who we are. Because some of the things that require our authenticity mean that we have to stand up and tell our truth. And sometimes the truth is not okay. Sometimes the truth is not easy. But give us the wisdom to apply tone our throat chakra. That when we release the truth, that the truth is released, and the light codes within the throat chakra that releases this truth, that it is something that releases the truth with ease and comfort. As we always invoke the help of Archangel Michael to help us, to support us, to comfort us, to protect us with ease and comfort. With ease and comfort. Ease and comfort, friends. You're on the field with us. You're on the field with me. Oh, ease and comfort. Ease and comfort. Ease and comfort. Ease and comfort. Comfort. Ease and comfort. Kiramakua, raising us, raising our vibrations with Archangel Michael, his legions of angels, the deep blue archangels of Michael, the deep blue dragons of Archangel Michael. They're all with us. Olamaha, olamakam. And Yeramatia, Iramahua. And so we're bringing in now Micah. Micah is my personal dragon from Mercury, the gold blue dragons of Mercury. We're working with Micah right now. And if you have a gold blue dragon of Mercury, now bring it in, invite it, invoke your gold blue dragon. Why? Because the dragons of Mercury work with the higher aspect of Mercury to improve our communications, to realign it. We are realigning our communications on every level. Our relationships with high vibrational people, our relationships with family, our relationships with low vibrational people, our communications. That's it. Our communications with the high vibrational people, with the low vibrational conversations, with relationships with family. We are invoking the help of the dragons from Mercury. Why is Micah here? Because Micah too works with the throat chakra. Micah too works with our communications. Remember that the higher aspect of Mercury, they work with the higher aspect of the planet Mercury to realign, to change low vibrational conversations, to reinterpret things that we say and do on the planet, so that then it is delivered in a way that it is reinterpreted at a high vibrational space, in a high vibrational space. What else are we going to do with them? What else are we asking them to do with us? So all this manifestation, meditations, the voices we're hearing, the confessions we're making, the conversations we're having with other people, whatever we're trying to manifest, we know that it is lost in translation because it is not showing up despite all the things we're doing that we know we're supposed to do. So we invoke the help of Irarakiti rakatulu kutotoro nakai tamato. Ele selamaho natefaranato. I have to get my dragon book, friends. 1 second. Uramakainato franate. The higher aspect of Mercury is telephony. Works with all our communication channels. Humans, internet, electronics, technology, whatever. Right now we are asking for realignment. In particular, Micah and the dragons of Mercury, we invoke you. We ask you to help us. With all the words we have already spoken, with all the words that we have already said, that we are currently saying, with all the thought patterns that we have, the programming that we have with regards to manifestation, with abundance and financial abundance, we ask you to realign that for us here in this time and space right now. Everyone that's watching in this time and will come in the future, I ask you to realign, to reinterpret for me my programming, to be of high vibrational with the help of the higher aspect of Mercury, telephony, to realign for high vibration, that everything that I speak and think from here on in terms of abundance, manifestation, that it is going to be of high vibration, and that I and everyone watching, that we will see the manifestations of our dreams, of our hopes, not just financial abundance, not just helping us with our monthly and day-to-day and weekly expenses, but helping us with our dreams coming to reality. Our dreams coming to reality. Our dreams coming to reality. Is it a home you want for yourself? Is it to have that dream job? Is it to have lots of money that you can manage all your traveling all around the world? Do you have a dream to go to all the sacred sites on the planet? All of these things, are you squashing your dreams because you feel there's no money for it? Right now, bring it all to the platter. Bring it all to this platform. Bring it all on the table. Put it down like you put it on a big platter of food. Put all of those dreams, all of those hopes, all of those aspirations, and bring it in. And then bring in, we're gonna ask now, as you bring it in, we're going to ask Micah and the dragons from Mercury, with the higher aspect of Mercury, telephony, to please come in and realign all of this, all of our thought patterns, all of our thinking, all of our feelings, realign it. Realign it. Realign it to be of a higher vibration, of a higher frequency, that we can see the manifestation of our dreams coming to reality. Ora matala kala ko farna wo itira ma khore ma atila ka ora ma khain fa ya wo e okuno tete okunete nan krushta e krnashte ma hurana in tora na khayam Mekututo kata diskuto dis mai ketuto estada urka dite sulish ba lugri dite vaskuto alon jaba au dukra lo ai jana or ma khai yakruna sisna fraita khayna to frana khay. Thank you, friends. Thank you. I think that last one was really very, very important. It was the one we needed to shift our reality into one of a manifestation of abundance and all things for ourselves that are good, all good dreams to come to reality, to be here, to be in our space, to live from our highest timeline, the best life, the life that is of the highest frequency for the greatest good of ourselves and all. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Please remember to go out and ground yourself. Take care of you. This is necessary. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Namaste.